Katie Cat here. Welcome to my channel. I'm a total noob at this whole YouTube thing, so please bear with me. I don't have the best recording technology. I'm still figuring out my light and my table situation. Like, I'm totally in my laundry room right now. Kids are out there watching a movie and I'm in here doing a video, okay? Bear with me. Here I am, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do a transformation. I had these nail set put on last week, a week ago, something like that, and they all look like this. Now, just now, I filed them all down to look like this. There's 3 coats of brown dip that I made homemade with eyeshadow, and then I put some decals on some of my nails. This hand, I think, had 3, but they're different fingers also. And then I put like 4 different layers of clear coat because I wasn't getting the results that I wanted with the clear coat. And in the end, I just said, forget it. I'm just going to change the color because it wasn't shiny. These obviously aren't because I sanded them off last night. But I want to start fresh with a different color and not do the decals and see if it's the eyeshadow or what it is that's causing this matte finish to come up on my surface. Anyways, as you can tell, these are not all my nails. I added some tips and they have already started to grow out. You could see just a little bit, but I used my Melody Susie efile with this bit on it and one of the roughest sandpaper grips that I have, and I turned it up pretty high on the little dial to get the speed going pretty fast so that it would take these bad boys off. When I did that, I did start to feel the heat. It would start to burn after a few seconds, pushing and getting all that buildup off. And so I kind of just took my time. It took me about 10 minutes, I think, 10-15. The duration it took to get another video uploaded that I just made. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Now, I'll go back and do this hand later, but I want to show you using GH liquids, and I made this eyeshadow powder that I mixed with clear dip. This is Azure, I don't know how you say that, Azure dip that was clear. This one's empty, I used it all, but I just wanted to show you. So I used dollar store eyeshadow, put it in there, added 50-50 ratios of the clear dip into the clear powder, and now I'm gonna do the thing. Here we go. Sorry, I have a severe chapstick addiction. It's like never gonna go away. All right, I'm gonna get my e-file out of here so I don't mess it up. So I've already gone back and sanded, filed down my nails with finer grit file, and I kind of did the edges a little bit with a hand file. Nice even thin layer of my base coat. Okay, then I'm just going to dip. Now you can see how chunky that is. Oh my gosh, but tap off as much of it as I can. It's easier when it's on a hard surface. Yeah, so much better. So in a minute, we'll brush some of that off, but I want to give the base coat a chance to dry a little bit. Move on to the next one. This stuff smells really, really awful. It's just like straight up super glue is what it smells like to me. I'm going to look into a different brand of liquids because I'm not sure if my top coat problem is just the liquids or I missed a little spot. I'm just going to squeeze back in there. If the top coat problem, it could be the liquids, it could be the dip. But I want to just experience what some other liquids are like. These ones I do like, except that aside from that top coat issue that I had, top coat doesn't dry evenly on the nails. Some dried quickly, some dried a lot slower. Which is frustrating when you're like, I gotta go do this, and you're like, I expect my nails to be done, and they're not. I'm not doing very well putting this stuff on. I'm not doing a second coat on the whole nail. I'm just trying to get, oops, in those little spots that I missed. And when I make it flake like that, I just use a little scooper, put it back in there. Little cuticle thingy. Next. That one turned out pretty good. I did my toenails purple last night with the same kind of DIY eyeshadow dip that I made, just like this blue one. And they turned out really nice, really shiny, which is weird that they didn't have the same effect with that top coat that the brown ones did. The problems that I was telling you I had. They turned out really, really nice. So now that most of these have had a chance to dry a little bit, that base coat, I'm just going to take my really soft brush and I'm going to dust it back off right over the little jar. See, again, I didn't do very even on some of them when it looked like it had stuck underneath the dip. I wonder if I use my little tray to slide my fingernails into, if that would be better. Let's try that. I really gotta get a flour sifter. Try again. This is coat number 2. So I'm not activating between these coats. Just going straight over the other one that's dried. All the way back to the cuticles. And you want to wipe your brush in between before you put it back in. See, this one's a bit messier. I'm learning by trial and error here. Bear with me. Some little chunks that I'm just gonna pick off. There we go. I think I liked it better in the blue cup, or the original cup. I haven't had any problems yet with needing to use my brush saver. These liquids have done a really good job at not clumping together. The bottle's not like being glued shut. That part of them has been really nice. It's my first kit that I bought just from Walmart. The top glued shut every time. And I had to use pliers, so like I kept the pliers in my kit. And so I didn't have to go back to the garage every time to grab them. one more. I don't know if you can hear the movie in the other room or not. Sorry. The kids are watching Ferdinand. It's a really cute movie about a bull that becomes tame with a family and then gets taken away, and his journey with his friends that were once enemies. Okay, so now we're gonna dust off the powder again. You can tell it's so much more even once you get that dusting of powder off. Still gonna need to use my efile to sand it down and level it out. And there's actually one spot, sometimes happens right in here, that gets missed. So I'm gonna go back and fix that real quick. I don't want it to end up being a whole lot thinner than the rest of the nail. There we go. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside for a minute and get my activator. Step 2. Activator, just go on heavy. You want it to penetrate through all the layers evenly of that dip powder that you just put on. If it doesn't go through evenly, it's not going to turn out right. You can tell that you got enough because you can feel it, that it's cold. This nail is a lot thicker than the other ones, so I'll probably be filing it down a bunch more. A little bit more. Right there. Okay, now we want this to dry too before I start filing on them, because otherwise it'll kind of smudge and that's just a mess. So yeah, I've got a mess here on my table. You can't see it. It's a mess. Anyways, okay. So for my filing bit, you can see that I've got this like rounded out even tip. I really like this one. There's some cotton on it because I had to use my nail polish remover to get some buildup off. But this one, it's just, I don't know, it's my fave. It's my go-to. And I just turn it on low, the setting. So I'll try to show you without getting dip all over my elbows. Just evenly. I go this direction first. Get in those edges. Okay, and then I also go this way at the end. I've got people in my family that like me to scratch their back, and they don't want me using these thick nails right here at the edge because that doesn't provide a good scratching. So I try to get them thinned out. Because if it's too thick, then I just have a hard time, you know, getting Legos apart and things like that for my kids. You can go underneath too if you want. I typically do that just with the hand file. Let's see. I'll get in there with a hand file later. You can use your little brush. So I'm going to end up doing another coat on top of that of the dip. After I activate again, this This one's got a big chunk here by my cuticle that I didn't mean to happen. You'll notice that I'm using my left hand to do my right hand right now, and that's how I start. I don't want to use my dominant hand first because my dominant hand I know will do a much better job. So I always start with my non-dominant hand doing the work on my dominant hand. I think it just works out better for me that way. I don't know how other people feel, but that's just how I've always done my nails. Again, I'll have to get in there with a regular file. Looking good. This one you can see a little bit of purple and green mixed in with the blue that's kind of chunky. So I'm curious to see what will happen as it gets leveled out. Add another coat. Let's see if you can see any of the different flecks of color. You'll find different hand positions comfortable as you go, trying to just make it so there's enough pressure that you're evenly distributing the weight that you need to in order to get the look you're going for. It takes some getting used to, but you get it after a while. And what works for someone else might not work for you as far as how you hold your file and how you attempt to do it, your system of how you do it. And you might find that bits what work for others don't work for you, and you might like something else. Okay. I think that's pretty good for the moment. One more little spot right there. I'm gonna have to wash this towel again. Usually I use it for several weeks before I wash it. Gotta put my hair up, it's driving me crazy. Okay, here we go. Brush it off. And we're gonna activate again. Yeah, activate. And then do another coat of dip. Yeah, this is going to be a really pretty color. So that's what we're working with so far. Back to base. Oops. Make sure you're working it all the way to those edges. Especially if your lighting isn't the best, you'll want to use the light you have to make sure that you're getting it all over. Some of these These coats dry pretty quickly. Oops. That's better. Straight up my nose. Should have the fan on, but it's too noisy. Normally I'm out in the living room where we have the big ceiling fan going just for regular circulation anyway, so that really helps the fumes to not go right up my nose. And I guess I'm one of the lucky ones that hasn't experienced dip flu. That doesn't concern me at all with, you know, I haven't gotten sick when I do this, which is really nice because I would not like to invest in a whole new set of stuff to do this. I invested quite a bit of money in this and I don't want to start over. Sorry to those who get sick from it. Okay, so now that we've got them all dipped again, make sure I close up my base. Going to dust off again. Fuzz. This thumb, I can see a spot where shiny is coming through, like it didn't get any dip the third round. To leave it or not, I think we'll leave it. So we're gonna go, oh excuse me, we gotta activate. Yeah, activate and then file. Again, making sure to get it through all of that layer that you just did. So go pretty heavy on the activator. I'm gonna put the lid on this. Where did I put it? Did I drop it? Where did I put the lid? No idea. I don't see it. Oh well, it'll turn up. Anyway, we're activated. We're gonna buff again. Buff and file. File and buff. Whatever you do. On low setting. Just gonna do it the same way we did last time. Getting it smooth and flat. Laying down the tips of my nail because I don't want them too thick for my back scratchers. Next one. Before I invested in this e-file, I was not getting the results I wanted, and I was not happy about it. So I asked around on the groups, and Melody Susie was one of the favorites, and I went for it. Now I get great results. Not thick and chunky nails. Blah, 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 blah. My words don't always work with me. The few times that I did go to a salon and have my nails done with tips and acrylics, I didn't feel like the gals that did them did a very good job. I think that I do a much better job of doing it myself because I actually care about the attention to detail, whereas someone else is just like, get them in, get them out kind of thing. So I do take my time doing my nails because I want them to look nice. I don't want them just, you know, halfway messy, messy, messy. There's one spot on that one that I wish would go down a little bit more, but I don't want to sabotage anything I've got going on near it. It's okay, I might even out with a clear coat. My light's flickering, sorry. Okay, I'm just about ready to just pull out a buffer and buff by hand. Get most of the stuff off of that. Where did it go? This one, I just picked it up at the dollar store. It's got the 4 steps to it, so I'm going to use number 3 to buff. Get in there everywhere. Yeah, it's making a difference. Huge difference. I picked up 2 of these just because, you know, they're so inexpensive and I wanted to have more than one on hand in case one dies on me. So that's what we're working with. Oh, there's some powder going up in the air when I do that. And that's what they look like now before I'm going to do my final clear coat, top coat. Well, I've got to activate again first before that even, excuse me. So real quick, I'm just going to go around my edges with a Revlon file. Just to smooth out anything that needs a little help. Because I don't want to get to the end and have it be 10 minutes of filing. I'd rather do a little bit now and a little bit when I get there at the end. So I typically have a little bit of a mess around my cuticles, and I'm okay with that. I will go back at the end and use a different drill bit on my e-file to clean that up. And then tomorrow or the next day, once my nails, you know, grow out just the tiniest little bit, I'll use this and I will actually file right here at the cuticle, making it soft so that it doesn't catch on my hair or on my clothes. And every couple of days I'll go back and do that again when it starts snagging on things. I really can't deal with snaggy. It makes me cringe and scream. Okay, almost there. Good enough. Anyways, sometimes I use this heavier duty bristle brush just to make sure I've gotten all the fuzz and everything off. All right, now we're gonna activate again. My brush is kind of wonky. What's going on? Just a quick activation right before I do my top coat. Just let it dry for a second. So that's what we're looking at before I put on my top coat. We're gonna do it nice and thick, but not too much. I can see the iridescence from the eyeshadow. I love that. Sorry, my lights are flickering again. Oh, stop it. Little fluorescent tube lights. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the one coat, and I'm going to do told you this stuff's like super glue. I'm gonna do a second coat here in just a second. I don't have a UV lamp, and I don't think I need one for this stuff anyways. That's for gel. This is not gel, this is dip powder. Here we go with the second coat. I think I'm going to look into getting some glitters for my DIY dips. Love me some glitter. I'm gonna wipe off a little bit that I got on my finger just because I don't want it to be all sticky and stick to some other finger. I don't know about you, but for me, one of the hardest parts doing my nails is always not bumping them before they're dry. So there you have it. Just filed down my entire hand from a different color that had lots of top coats on top of my nail decal stickers, and it took what, half an hour, 40 minutes to do the whole thing on one hand. So tomorrow I'm going to do the other hand because it sounds like the boys' movie is over in the other room. And yeah, hope you learned some things. Hope you enjoyed my video, and please click like and subscribe so that you can be updated when there is more to check it out. Thank you.